I'm moving, I'm moving, I'm moving, I'm moving, I'm moving, I'm moving.
What's good, guys? It's your boy Jay, that's me. Let's dive into Impact Wrestling for May the 25th, 2023. This was the go-home show to Under Siege. We will be doing Under Siege predictions later on. So, we kick the show off with Mike Bailey versus Chris Saban. Chris Saban wins via the cradle shock. The match was okay. You guys know I'm not a big fan of Mike Bailey. Mike Bailey sucks as a wrestler. He's bland and he's boring. He's probably a nice person behind the scenes, but as a pro wrestler, he is boring. He needs a character. He needs a gimmick. So we get a video package hyping up Trinity, recapping her win over Kylan King last week. She was successful in her Impact Wrestling debut. She mentioned Gisele Shaw. She said that she's going to beat Gisele Shaw, and she's going to be keeping her eye on the Knockouts World Championship. Interesting. Although I wish that Trinity didn't have to face Gisele Shaw, and maybe you could have put someone else in Gisele Shaw's place. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe Savannah Evans or Tasha Steelz. Where is Tasha Steelz and where is Savannah Evans? They've been gone for a couple weeks. That's weird. So we get a video package involving Steve Maclin and PCO, hyping up their main event for Under Siege. We get a backstage promo from Steve Maclin. He says that the video that we saw was a waste of time and a wasted promotion, as the damage that he did to PCO last week left him finding a replacement who he's going to announce later on in the night. Cool. I'm fine with that. Kenny King and Sheldon Jean, they defeated the K, which is Black Charus and Crazy Steve. Nick Aldis was on commentary. Again, I like both Kenny King and Sheldon Jean. I think they will make a great tag team. That's kind of where they're going to end up placing Kenny King anyway. We all know that he's not going to beat Nick Aldis. Post-match, Kenny King gets on the mic. He calls Nick Aldis. He says that he's going to kick Nick Aldis' pompous British ass, and that he would defeat him come Under Siege. Nick Aldis called Kenny King a bitch, and Nick Aldis says they don't have to wait. He took his jacket off, so Sheldon Jean attempted to go after Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis takes him out. Then Nick Aldis gets into the ring. He attempts to go after Kenny King. Kenny King dips out, and he says that he'll see him tomorrow at Under Siege. So I do like this. But Kenny King, to me, deserves a lot better. But I do think if you put him in the tag division, it's perfect for him. Because there's no point of him getting into the X division, because you have a heel champion in Trey Miguel. Same thing with the World Heavyweight title picture. You have a heel in Steve Maclin. And there's no way that he should go into lower tier card shit, being the Digital Media Championship, which is held by my boy Joe Hendry, who I like. So I think the tag division is going to be the best bet for Kenny King moving forward. Taylor Wilde versus Jessica. She defeated Jessica with ease with the Witch's Wrath. Post-match, we see Courtney Rush, a.k.a. Rosemary, because we see a video of the hourglass. It has now, the time has now elapsed, and every drop of sand has reached the bottom, or what have you. So, she makes the save, and the Coven dip out. We then get a backstage segment with Courtney Rush and Jessica. So, Courtney Rush explained that she was Rosemary at once upon a time, but she had to change. Jessica asks if she wants to join the Death Dolls, and Courtney Rush obliges and says yes, and they both embrace. This is cool. I'm digging this. I'm glad that they're both human. Obviously, the supernatural stuff wasn't getting over because you have another supernatural team in the form of the Coven. Actually, you have another team in the form of the Hex, which is Marty Bell and Alice and Serena, a.k.a. Allison Kay. I don't know where they are. I don't know where the Hex are. They were there for like a couple of episodes. This was maybe back in, March? And we haven't seen them since. I don't know what's up with that. I really don't. Rich Swann versus Angels. Rich Swann wins via the Phoenix Splash. Post-match, the Design take out both Sami Callihan and Rich Swann with the baseball bat. Who cares? I don't give a shit about this. The Design sucks ass. I've said for weeks on my channel that they need to disband the Design. You put Alan Angels back in the X Division, and you have Deonna be the mouthpiece for Khan. And you have Khan maybe try to become the X Division champion or something like that. That's what I would do. But this Design shit sucks. I'm over the shit. So earlier on in the show, Alisha Edwards were talking smack to Deonna Purrazzo. She said to watch her back. She said she can't trust Jordynne Grace, even though she thinks that Jordynne Grace is Deonna Purrazzo's friend. She said she told Deonna to watch her back. So that led to Jordynne Grace versus Alisha Edwards. So Jordynne Grace wins in quick fashion with the Grace driver. Moving on. So Dirty Dango had a really cool segment about him disrespecting the Impact Wrestling roster. He was doing a black and white film. He was in some type of shed or whatever, being interviewed. I enjoyed it. He had subtitles and stuff with each of the segments. That was great. So Dirty Dango said that the fans here, are here to see stars, and that's what he is in the company. Dirty Dango explained why he attacked Santino, because he was disappointed in him and that he was stuck in 2010. And the reason why he took out Joe Hendry was because he thought Joe Hendry was different, but it turned out that he was like all the rest. And so he likes Joe Gacy's championship, therefore he wants it. So I do like this. This was great. I loved it. Dirty Dango being a heel is great. This is going to kick major ass. Hopefully we see Tyler Breeze come into the mix as well. That would be great. To unite a heel fashion police, that would kick major ass. And don't forget, Tyler Breeze is from Canada. And we have a heavy populated Canada promotion and Impact. We have a lot of superstars. I mean, a lot of wrestlers that are from Canada in Impact. A lot. Like a good portion of the roster from Canada. Chris Bay versus John Skyler. I was right that they were going to do the WWE type stuff like they always do, that being Impact. So Chris Bay, he defeated John Skyler via the Art of Finesse. That's fine. That was the main event of the show, wrestling-wise. What really closed the show was Steve Maclin. Steve Maclin ended the show. So, Steve Maclin, he comes out, he gets on the mic, he tells the crowd that his match at PCO is not going to happen after he attacked PCO last week. However, he would still defend his championship at Under Siege against an opponent of his choosing. He calls out Champagne Singh and said that he's going to be his opponent. So, Maclin then proceeds to congratulate Champagne Singh, and Champagne Singh said that it was time that he finished his story, a.k.a. Cody Rhodes. So the crowd began to boo Singh, interrupting his promo about the people he was trying to thank. And he had like a real long list of names. It was like probably 150 names, which was kind of funny. So Scott D'Amore, he comes out, he interrupts. So Scott D'Amore tells him that their match isn't happening, that being Steve Maclin and Champagne Singh. Maclin told Scott D'Amore that he didn't want to see him as champion. Scott D'Amore said that he has no interest in stacking the deck against Maclin. Scott D'Amore tells Maclin that he's making a mockery of the Impact Championship, and he and shares that he's fine with Maclin as champion. But Maclin should want to prove in ring that he's the best in the world. It's like, why would we do that? We don't need another work rate champion. We don't. Josh Alexander sucked as champion because he didn't have any good feuds outside of Moose. That was it. Everything else was just your typical work rate shit. Outside of Moose and Steve Maclin, outside of Moose and Bully Ray, Josh Alexander's title reign was not that good because it was just work rate bullshit. And that is the problem. Maclin being a heel champion is perfect. So, Scott D'Amore said he told Maclin that he was willing to put their issues behind him after defending his title at Under Siege. So Maclin refuses. He begins to disrespect Scott D'Amore some more. Scott D'Amore then tosses his glasses to somebody in the crowd. And Scott D'Amore says that if Maclin wins at Under Siege, he put the title around Maclin's waist. And he also reveals that PCO will face Steve Maclin at Under Siege. So PCO comes out. He takes out both Shera and Champagne Singh. Maclin dips out of Dodge. Maclin leaves his title in the ring. He tries to go back and retrieve it. PCO puts his foot on it. Maclin then dips out up the entrance rampway. And then PCO just taunts him. He taunts Steve Maclin. And then that's how the show ends. So, a very anticlimactic way to end the show. There was no brawl. There was no nothing. I didn't like it. To me, that's not a good look. That's not a good look at all. Plus, PCO didn't sell his injury well. He didn't. The match really isn't going to be that good because PCO isn't really all that over. Like, there's no heat to this. Like, Maclin's the one that calls all the heat. PCO is just there just to be there. This has to be a one and done type of thing. And I hope that we get a feud with Maclin and with somebody. But I don't think we're going to get anything until Bound for Glory. Like, I think that Macklin's probably going to hold the championship at least until Bound for Glory. And then that's when Nick Aldis will defeat Steve Maclin. But this was a very lackluster way to end the Go Home show. Overall, the show itself was okay for the most part. It could have been better. So let's go ahead and get into the predictions. So let's go on with the countdown to the countdown to Under Siege. My bad. So the Coven versus the Death Dolls for the Impact Knockouts Championships. The Death Dolls more than likely. My bad, not the Death Dolls. Yeah. No, I'm gonna go with the Coven. The Coven, they're gonna be most likely to retain. Moving on. Joe Hendry versus Dirty Dango for the Digital Media Championship. Dirty Dango needs to win this. Joe Hendry needs to go on to bigger and better things. Either put him in the world title picture or put him in the X division. One of the two. I'm fine with either or. Whether you put him in the X division or whether you put him in the world title picture, I'm fine with either or. But we got to get him out of this damn comedy shit. Like, for real, he deserves better. Joe Hendry could be one of the guys that you build Impact around. I'm being serious. He's got a good look, and he's massively over with the crowd. All the time, wherever they go. He's always over. Let's get on to the main show. So, the Design versus Sami Callihan, Rich Swann, and a partner of their choosing. Who cares? I don't care. I'm going to go with probably Rich Swann and Sami Callihan, and whoever they choose is going to win. Not important. You guys know I hate the Design. They suck. And this is a shitty storyline that needs to end. Next, the Asian Bay Connection versus Subculture. So that's pretty cool. Mark Andrews and one of the guys who used to be in NXT UK. I'm going to go with ABC winning. It would make the most sense. Moving on, Trey Miguel versus Chris Saban. Trey Miguel's going to win this. Like, why not? I mean, I like Chris Saban, but he's not going to win this. Let's just be honest. Because if he does win, then Trey Miguel's reign would be all for naught. And Trey Miguel doesn't need to lose this. Not now. I could see him losing it at either Slammiversary or Bound for Glory. I could see him losing it at one of those two pay-per-views, but not at just a regular old Impact Plus event. Next, the number one contenders match for the Impact World Championship. Moose versus Eddie Edwards versus Jonathan Gresham versus Yuya Uemura versus Alex Shelley versus Frankie Kazarian. My two picks to win, my main pick to win is probably Frankie Kazarian, and then as a dark horse, Alex Shelley. They're telling a really good story so far with Frankie Kazarian, so why not? That would make the most sense. And you could carry, have a little mini feud with Steve Maclin up until Slammiversary. So I do think by having Frankie Kazarian win, it makes the most sense. You could tell a really good story there if done right. Moving on, Kenny King versus Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis, like, why not? And then I think after that, we put Kenny King in the tag division, like ASAP. Gisele Shaw versus Trinity. I feel bad for Trinity. I really do. Someone else should have been in Gisele Shaw's spot. Somebody else. It could have been Tasha Steelz. It could have been Savannah Evans. But it had to be boring-ass Gisele Shaw. Trinity's going to win, obviously. Next, Deonna Purrazzo versus Jordynne Grace for the Impact Knockouts Championship. Deonna Purrazzo. I don't know what they're going to do with Jordynne Grace. Jordynne Grace has done everything she can in Impact. She's been there for a minute. But it's time for her to move on and do bigger and better things. I could see her in WWE. I could see her in AEW. It's just time for her to do something else, if we're being honest. And I like Jordynne Grace, I do. But she's ran her course in Impact, if we're being honest. Like, there's nothing else you can do with her. I mean, you could feud her with Trinity. There's that, but after that's over and done with, then, you know, it's time for her to move on. Main event, Steve Maclin versus PCO for the Impact World Championship in a no DQ match. Steve Maclin's going to retain, and it's probably going to be by involvement from Eddie Edwards, more than likely. That's just my take on it. So overall, thank you guys for watching. Please hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe for my videos. What did you guys think of the show? Leave your comments below. Happy Memorial Day weekend. It's going to be a busy Memorial Day weekend. We've got SmackDown. We also have Under Siege. So I'll be covering those two things on the channel. As well as Night of Champions tomorrow afternoon. And on Sunday, we have NXT Battleground as well as Double or Nothing. So I'll be covering all that. So stay subscribed to the channel, and I hope you guys have a happy and safe Memorial Day weekend. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.